Someday, in the not-so-distant future, it happens. The moment you realize you're ready for anything. Get a degree in emergency management from Jacksonville State University and be ready for where you're going.
This is the Weather Xtreme video. It's the morning edition. This is for Friday, April 25th. I'm James Spann. Beautiful weather today and over the weekend. The warmest weather so far this year, tomorrow and Sunday. Then things go downhill next week. We'll have the dual threat of heavy rain and flash flooding, and then also severe thunderstorms Monday, Tuesday, and maybe even Wednesday of next week. So a lot of things to talk about here. Let's go in there and take a look. This is the water vapor satellite view early this morning. The trough that brought little rain to the state early this morning is lifting out. And we'll have great weather today through the weekend. But boy, look at this shot. This was captured about 5 miles northeast of Starkville, Mississippi last night as the storms rolled through there. From the Twitter user MSWX Photog. He takes some great sky shots over there. That's amazing. But those storms, as expected, fizzled out very quickly as they moved into Alabama after midnight. Starting off the day in the 60s, we'll expect a high in the upper 70s today. There's a watch warning map. Few winter weather issues out west in the Rockies underneath that big trough out there. The east is pretty quiet. But later today, severe storms are possible along the middle Atlantic coast, places like Virginia Beach and Cape Hatteras involved in that. Tomorrow, there is the standard slight risk of severe weather from the Rio Grande up through Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, even into parts of Iowa in advance of the trough advancing out of the Rockies. The day 3 outlook. This is never good when you see a moderate risk on the day 3. That's for the Arklatex region out there around Shreveport, Texarkana, almost up to Little Rock. The larger risk runs from Texas up into Missouri, parts of Iowa and Illinois. And look at the severe weather possibilities and that moderate risk. You got that 45% possibility. Then again, that's basically a 50-50 chance of having severe weather with 25 miles of a given point Sunday and Sunday night. Then early next week, we are involved. We have risks on day 4 and day 5, Monday and Tuesday. The day 4 risk includes parts of North and West Alabama, and the day 5 risk on Tuesday includes a large part of Alabama. As a very slow-moving, big upper trough affects a region with very unstable air. Not a good combination for late April. And the rain will be very heavy next week. Flash flooding, a very real possibility. This is the expected rain through Friday morning of next week, and this is showing rain amounts of about 4 inches for much of the state. Let me show you the raw modeling off the European, and boy, this thing is printing a bullseye of 8.5 inches just below Montgomery. That's not good. The amounts up this way are generally in the 3-inch range, and we'll just have to see how it all plays out. But flash flooding is a very distinct possibility next week for at least parts of Alabama, if not a large part of the state. All right, let's get into deep detail. This is modeling the Global Forecast System, the GFS. This is valid at 1 o'clock this afternoon at 500 millibars. And the trough that brought a little rain late last night is lifting out and the air drying out nicely. The sky will be mostly sunny today with a high in the mid to upper 70s. Pretty good little west wind, low dew points, just a nice day. Tomorrow, beautiful weather to start the weekend. Sunny and warm. Now, we start the day down in the upper 40s, but we warm quickly into the mid-80s. And, of course, that means the air is very dry. Sky bright and sunny. Again, off to the west, you can see that tight pressure gradient across parts of the southern plains where severe storms could erupt late in the day or Saturday night. And this is Sunday. That's pretty problematic. Big dynamic negative tilt trough emerging into the plains. A deep surface low over Nebraska, 984 millibars. The dry line down to about Interstate 35. Severe storms likely along and in advance of the dry line. And again, the severe weather parameter seems to be maximized at around the Arklatex region. But our day Sunday should be fine. Partly sunny with highs up in the low to mid-80s. Okay, next week, this is Monday, and this is where things start to go downhill. The surface low is over the high plains, 989 millibars, and you can see this first batch of storms perhaps affecting the state during the day Monday, especially the northern third of the state. And understand, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, we'll have breaks in the rain. It's not going to rain the whole time. But when the rain comes, the storms could really pack a punch, and the rain could be locally heavy. But again, this is kind of suggesting the better chance of severe weather Monday could be over the northwestern part of the state, and that could last into Monday night. And Tuesday, back to the upper levels, there's that large-scale trough that's just not going to move much with the axis west of the state. The surface low on Tuesday is over Missouri, much closer to the state than other runs, and this is a very favorable severe weather look here. And you can see evidence of strong to severe storms in progress over the northern third of the state. And again, there could be some very heavy rain with this. And severe weather possibility there. This is Tuesday night, just after midnight, Wednesday at 1 a.m., very deep surface low near Chicago. And again, we've got rain and storms going on here. And even Wednesday at 1 o'clock, surface low is over Wisconsin, and it's still raining with rain and storms. So a 3-day event with several rounds of heavy to severe storms, torrential rain. You can see the flooding possibilities. And finally, Thursday, we get into some drier air. Look at some of the severe weather parameters. And again, one of the questions, is when exactly is the biggest risk of severe weather? This is going to be hard to define at this point. With each wave of rain, that will greatly kind of determine, what happens next. And telling you now on a Friday morning exactly when the higher severe weather possibilities will be, that's hard. This is Monday evening at 7 o'clock. This is the instability, the surface-based CAPE. Very high numbers. Those red shades are CAPEs in excess of 3,000 joules, covering much of Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, southeastern Texas. Over into Alabama, the amounts are over 2,000 joules. This is Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock. The instability values are not as great, but the dynamic support could be better at that point. And certainly those instability values are very sufficient for severe weather. Don't want to, downplay that. And really throughout the event, we're going to see a pretty high amount of this low-level bulk shear. This is the bulk shear Tuesday morning at 7 o'clock. I just picked a time here as an example, and this is the shear between the surface and 925 millibars, and those higher 30-knot values are pretty favorable for rotating updrafts and possible tornadoes. And this is the low-level jet at the same time. This is Tuesday morning, and again, the low-level jet speeds are in the 40-knot range in the core. Those could be a little higher. But clearly, the players are on the field for that dual threat of flooding and severe weather. We might see severe storms as early as Monday afternoon. We expect multiple rounds of severe weather. Some of them could be in the middle of the night, which is not good. And the risk will finally begin to wind down Wednesday. And just be ready for anything. All modes of severe weather possible: large hail, damaging wind, a few tornadoes. And we'll keep fine-tuning the threat as we get closer. All right, the end of next week on Friday, we are dry. And the good news that the models have really backed off on the idea of this cold core upper trough, which means it's not going to be as cool as we had projected earlier. Highs will be in the 70s late next week and lows in the 50s. So the idea of seeing some upper 30s, that is off the table. And by the way, the following weekend, it's race weekend at Talladega. I would say at this point it looks pretty good, dry and comfortable. There's not much skill beyond a 7-day forecast, but at the moment, race weekend looks pretty good over there. We'll check the end of the forecast, May the 10th, ridging over the south central plains, and if that's right, the weather would be warm with just a few scattered showers. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes in the blog. Next video here by 4 o'clock this afternoon. If you can, catch us this evening on ABC 3340 News, the live stream of the television side at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.